consulting, business strategies, leadership, motivation, and this name, Umair Jaliawala, will come to your mind. Then you're missing a link, which you are clearly not, because it did pop up in your head. This gentleman, he's a natural at inspiring people, and speaking on forums like this, today we're expecting him to deliver the same, inspire us again. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Umair Jaliawala! How many of you have a concrete roof in your house? Put your hands up if you do. Excellent. How many of you like tea? The Pakistani version of tea. Yes. Okay, that's cool. I mixed the two so that you don't feel inferior anyway. How many of you like sports? Fabulous. And while you and I enjoy that cup of tea under our roof, while you and I go around on our vehicles, get them repaired, while you and I play in those fields for the clubs, for our institutions, there are people involved in offering us that product, that service. The people involved while we are consuming it, and the people involved when we dump that product. And many a times of those people, there's some people who didn't choose to be there. There's some hands that need to be on the receiving side, but are rather on the giving side, on the offering side. They're hands that we should have promised concrete dreams to, but are rather fixing our concrete. There are hands which need to be flipping books, but at this point are flipping tools that you and I would not even think of picking up. They're hands that are sewing what we throw around, what we kick around. And the level of indifference is such that what you and I throw unsorted is sorted by some, what you and I call trash is treasured by some. What does it take to see that indifference? The indifference to the extent that many of us, the privileged ones in this country, have kids to look after our kids. The kids who sort our kids' toys, the kids who clean it up for us, and the kids who see us doing everything, but yet will never have them. Many will say it is impossible for them to. What does it take to realize that that's not fair? What does it take to understand the difference between privileges and rights? It takes Iqbal Masih, this story which moved me. I'm just going to share that with you. At the age of 4, his family borrowed 600 rupees and could not return it. 600 rupees back in those times would be about $30. $600 in today's times. The family could not return it, and Iqbal was given on bondage. A bondage that would get Iqbal working in a carpet weaving factory. Smaller the hands, better the quality of carpets. Big stories around it. And Iqbal would step out every single day, navigate through the darkness, enter that factory where there would be hundreds of other kids exactly like him, and they would work 12 hours in a day, chained so that they don't run away. And they'd do it 7 days in a week, and every day they'd take about 30 minutes of time out. That was all the luxury that they could get. Iqbal realized that no matter how hard he worked, he will never be able to pay off that loan. So he decides to run away. He does, and he's caught by the police. And the police brings him back to the owner, beats the shit out of him, and tells him never to run again. But he does it again. And this time when he does, he needs somebody who listens to his story. Listens to his story, frees him of that load, and takes him around. And Iqbal becomes an ambassador for the millions of children like him in this very country called the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, taking the message that this bondage to the millions of children like him is not fair treatment. It is against right. Lots of awards, recognitions, and legacy, but only for Iqbal to be dropped dead, to be gunned down at the age of 12. The story, the questions still remain unanswered. But the situation is no different with Alif Elam's recent report saying that there are 25 million broken dreams at this point. 25 million children who don't go to school. Pakistan is the second largest population of out-of-school children in the world. They're not all as bad as the ones I've talked about, but they're out on the street. They're probably picking up the hair when you and I get our treatments done in the salons and the parlors that we go to. They're out there in the markets where you and I get vegetables and fruits from. They're out there on the repair shops. They're out and about, playing, frolicking all day, but it doesn't raise a question in our minds. 25 million broken dreams. Pakistan doesn't even have resources to put these children back to school at this point. Whatever resources are invested, the mega budget that we have allocated goes into a lot of wastage, a lot of stealing, as we know the state works. The question that remains, do we have an answer to it? Can we make the impossible possible? Can we get all these children back to school? And while I share with you this, I have a story to tell you. There are two kinds of people in this world. The first kind is the one that divides people in two kinds, and the other kind is which doesn't. I definitely belong to the first kind while I share the story with you. The first kind is the one that believes that every human being has dignity, every human being deserves to be treated as a human being and must have their universal rights. Without a question, they don't need to work hard for it. It's a default that every society should offer. You may not come from the first kind, but here is the second kind. The second kind are the people who say, I have business to look after, I have my degree to look after, I have my aspirations, I have my dreams, and I don't have time for this. That kid in Liari is not my problem, that kid in Panjgur is not my problem, and globally that kid in Africa is not my problem. So I have a story for the second kind, and the story is of a farmer who had 3 animals in his livestock collection. One was a cow, the other one a goat, and the third one a chicken. Call it a hen. And while these 3 animals would live the way they would live, a mouse found a way and stayed there until it caught farmer's eye, and the farmer wanted to get rid of it. So the farmer got a mouse trap to get rid of this nuance, this unwanted animal in the farm. As the mouse looked at it, it knew that it would not be able to resist its temptation, so it went running to the chicken and said, hey chicken, do you know that mouse trap there is gonna kill me? Can you please help me with this? Can you please do something about it? And what do you expect from a chicken? The chicken chickens out and says, hey, that's your problem, that's not my problem. The mouse is sad, dejected, and goes to the goat and says, can you please help me out with this? And the goat says, this is your problem, this is not my problem. And sad the mouse is, reaches out to the cow, thinking that it's a big animal and will have bigger thinking to offer, and says, hey, but have you looked at that mouse trap? I will be gone soon. And the cow, in its very own fashion, says, that's your problem, that's not my problem. As the story goes, the farmer's wife gets bitten by a snake, a poisonous snake, and is unwell, and the treatment to offer to that fever is the soup made of chicken. The farmer goes, slaughters the chicken, gets the soup ready, serves to the wife. The wife doesn't get better. People come to see her, and while they come, the farmer has nothing to offer. He gets rid of the goat, and the farmer's wife then passes away. And only to serve those people who got together at the funeral, the farmer had to get rid of the cow as well. So while you and I say that it is not my problem, it is that kid's problem, let us understand Karachi, let us understand Pakistan, let us understand the world, that that kid out on the street will tomorrow hit us in some fashion. It is already happening with the mugging on the road, the radicalization that we see, and the challenges we come across, the blind voting, and people not being able to make sense of the world. So it does hit back. We live in the same world, we breathe in the same air, and we're all part of this puzzle. So do it for whatever reason. You want to give dignity to people, do it for that. And if not, do it for your own very selfish interest, because the research suggests that in the US alone, and we only have numbers available from there and some developed countries, unfortunately we don't have any statistics from Pakistan, 60% of adults in prison read at below the 4th grade levels. 85% juvenile inmates are functionally illiterate. 43% adults at low literacy live below the poverty line. 2/3 of students who cannot read proficiently by the 4th grade will end up in jail or warfare. 3 out of 4 individuals who receive food stamps, that means government aid to buy food, read on the lowest levels of literacy. And the question that I want to pose here at this beautiful platform is, can you, can Pakistan's youth budge? We're 60% youth in this country. Can we take up this challenge? Can we fix those broken dreams? Of course, there is a connection where we have the second largest out of school children population. We also have the second largest youth population in the world. And of course, they're correlated, but for me, they're correlated in a very different fashion. They're correlated in a way that when I look at you youngsters and those who will listen to or will watch this video and take this message out, that youngsters being lost at this point and asking, what should I do with my life? There are not enough opportunities in Pakistan. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to do with all the resources I have. Can we try linking the two? And can we as youngsters take this up as an opportunity rather than as a problem? And I'm not just saying this in the rhetoric, the motivational speaker of me. I have some evidence to show you, and evidence that will inspire you, hopefully, to get into action in some form. So we do a program with British Council called the Active Citizens, which is a global program. Fantastic as it is, it takes youngsters through a journey which starts with I. They say the road to greatness starts with I. The deeper you go, the more you know and more you can do to this world, the more you can contribute to this world. So having a sense of confidence, and while you and I do that, also understanding that different is not wrong. Also understanding that if you and I were born in a different setting, we would probably be different beings. And knowing that you being born in the family you were born in was not a choice, but just an outcome of whatever happened, like they said, love story, after a year of arranged marriage, and you got where you got. Wasn't really a choice. So the identity modules equips youngsters with the confidence, with a sense of identity, their own and others. The second module takes them through a journey of dialogue. How do we speak to each other? Education is the art of listening without losing your temper and confidence. How do we communicate without offending the other? So youngsters go through this training and understand the skills of dialogue and practice them. And then the third module is how can we function together as a society? We all have roles, we all have responsibilities, we all have rights, and how can we make every single day a day of a good citizen, contributing to a good democracy and contributing to a good, peaceful, prosperous world. And after that, the youngsters are challenged into social action. And this social action could be around anything. Now, cutting the long story short, thousands of youngsters went through this program, Active Citizens, and most of their projects were around education. Somebody wanted to work with the schools, somebody wanted to work with the teachers, somebody wanted to raise funds to get some kids in school. All of those projects put together, and the team Active Citizens thought, hey, let's pick up a national campaign. Let's call it Impossible, making education possible. And this journey as part of social action challenged youngsters that can every youngster who goes through this program enroll 10 out of school children into school and make sure those kids stay there. That's it. 10 out of school children into school and making sure that they stay there. The outcome was phenomenal. And I've been working with youth, and I have an industry a career as well, and the industry reaches out to me and says, hey Umair, why do you keep wasting your time at these youth events? Why the youth trainings? And what's in it? You have an industry profile, just keep doing that. And there is just so much respect, and working with youth is somehow disgraced in my business. You'd be surprised to know. And my challenge as School of Leadership was that I'll keep working with the youth of Pakistan until every youngster in Pakistan feels energized, feels engaged, and is enriched to get into action. So that's my mandate. And with that, and the belief that young people have the energy, the belief that young people, when they pick up something, when they pick up a political party, they make sure it ends up in the parliament. When they pick up a cause, they make sure they do much more than the adults could ever imagine of. I know for a fact that youngsters can do it, and this video will help you understand. And I want you to listen to what young people of Pakistan have to say, not from NUST, not from the leading colleges, but from the rural setting. So let's have a look at this one.
di mana volte da barang di tali itu मैं इसराइल प्रेसिडेंट बनूंगा मुझे पढ़ने का बहुत शौक है मैं पढ़ कर डॉक्टर बनूंगी और गांव के लोगों का इलाज करूंगी आएगा जब ऐसा होगा पाकिस्तान मैं तो देखूंगा तुम भी देखोगे
So with the dream of putting children back into school, you will be surprised that about 8,700 ambassadors, education ambassadors, young people like you, were able to put a massive 170,000 children back into school. And to make that happen, you've got to just imagine what it was like in the community. With the religious folks saying this is dunyavi ilm, this is not required. With the female population not put into school, but rather married off and have children at a very young age. With parents saying that if this kid goes to school, we will lose out on the income this kids bring home. And who convinced all of them? Who convinced the teachers in the government schools to receive these children? And who campaigned for their communities? The youngsters of Pakistan, these 8,700 youngsters who reached out to 170,000. And I want you to listen to what they had to say. I'm sorry, I flashed through the video. Let me see if I can get that. This is the youngsters saying their stories.
اور میں نے اپنی پاکٹ منی سے کچھ پینسل قلم اور ریزر خرید کے دیے جو یہ پروجیکٹ ایم سے بن ٹیک اے چائلڈ ٹو اسکول چلا اور پریس کے نمائندے یہاں پہ ہمیں بلائے انہوں نے ایسی زبردست تدبیر دی جو ان کی رکانہ تھی اس میں ہمارے اندر یہ جذبہ پیدا ہوا کہ ہم نے اپنے بچوں کو پڑھانا ہے اور اپنے بچوں کو نہیں بلکہ پوری ایریا کے بچوں کو پڑھانا ہے اور ان کو ایک اچھا مستقبل اچھا کیریئر دینا ہے نیبا کے والد صاحب کیونکہ ایک امام مسجد تھے اس لیے انہوں نے کہا کہ میں بچوں کے اسکول کی تعلیم کے حق میں نہیں ہوں تو میں نے کہا کہ دیکھیں دینی تعلیم کے ساتھ ساتھ دنیاوی تعلیم بھی ضروری ہے تو پھر انہوں نے اپنی منیبا بیٹی کو اسکول میں بھیجا تو پھر منیبا کے دیکھا دیکھی میں اس نے اپنی دوسری بچی کو بھیجا اپنے بیٹے موز کو بھی بھیجا
ہمارے معاشرے میں عورت کو بہت ہی کم کا سمجھا جاتا ہے وہ کہتے ہیں کہ لڑکیاں پڑھ لکھ کر کیا کریں گی شادی کر کے گھر میں ہی رہنا ہے اور لڑکوں نے کمانا ہے انہیں گھر کا سر پر جانا ہے یہ نہیں دیکھتے کہ اگر ایک ماں پڑھی لکھی ہوگی تو پورا خاندان پڑھا لکھا ہوگا
اس کی ماں سے ملا اس کی ماں کو کہا کہ تمہارا بچہ جس سے بولے تو کیا ہوا معذوری مجبوری نہیں پھر میں نے اس بچے کو لے کر اسکول میں انرولمنٹ کروایا ہے 2 کلومیٹر 3 کلومیٹر میں صبح سے اس کو لے کے اسکول جاتا ہوں اور اس کو لے جاتا ہوں بچے جو آ رہے تھے جو انرولمنٹ کروائے جانے وہ تقریباً 50 to 60% آ رہے تھے ابھی جب سے ہم نے دوستی پروگرام شروع کیا ہے ابھی ماشاءاللہ 95 پلس اٹینڈنس وہ پرسنٹیج آ رہی ہے جی اس میں یہ ہے کہ جو کہانیاں ہم بچوں کو سنواتے ہیں اس کے علاوہ جو کامن بیہیویئر ہوتا ہے بچوں کا معاشرے میں کیسے رہنا چاہیے یہ وہ ہم سب کر رہے ہیں تاکہ بچوں کو بہت اچھے طریقے سے آگے لے جا سکیں
Let me add a little more detail to it. This happened in 60 districts across Pakistan. All the provinces, 60 districts across Pakistan. All of these ambassadors that you saw, everybody volunteered for the project. Not a single penny paid to the youngsters who worked on this idea. Fantastic partner organizations joined in. And all these partner organizations that I can't mention who mobilized the youngsters and got into action. So I raised this question just a little while ago. Can Pakistan's youth, the youth budget that we have, can we the 60% find a promising future in fixing the 25 million promises? Can our future be about fixing this? And in that is the greatest opportunity. Our biggest problems are our greatest opportunities. And my conclusion, having done this for the last 3 years and commitment to do it for the next 3 years because the project just got an extension, this is the finest model of enrollment and retention that has been witnessed in Pakistan. So more action coming. By the way, the project target was 130,000 and we already have 170,000 in school retained for 6 months. Retained for 6 months. So my belief in all of you, in the youngsters watching this, the youth bunch of this country, which is our biggest dividend at this point, countries globally are asking for young people. They're asking for young people. This is the highest form of human trafficking, the coolest form, wherein countries like China, countries which are low on the youth population, are reaching out to countries like us and saying, can we get some of this dividend? Can we benefit from it? So my faith is that it's not like the 25 million, it is the 200 million broken promises, the population of Pakistan and their challenges. If we the youth rise, we can surely find a fix to it, and in that is our greatest opportunity. What better life than putting a child to school, and you don't know what will happen to that kid in future, who will walk up to you someday and say, you know what, it was because of you that I am where I am. And what better